The starting line of the 2013 Centennial Conference Cross Country Championships, Carroll County Farm Museum. Short, slight incline here right at the end of the first straightaway. And we start heading slightly downhill. Level off, and a steady climb back to the beginning of the loop. Little incline, probably takes you about 3 or 4 steps. Presses the hill, a nice downhill back to the start line. First 1,000 meters of the course, 1K for both men and women. Oh, these next 2 fields are pretty flat. men and women. As well as this section is also the same both times through the course until you hit the fence here. First time, both men and women make a 180-degree turn and continue to hug the fence line along the second field. This part's still relatively flat, only the last couple steps here are slightly uphill. This is the first mile mark. At this point, there are a couple sections up here that'll split. I'll give you a nice little view around. From here, again, the part that we just ran, coming right along the fence line. Both men and women will go through the gate. So the rest of the course kind of opens up. Nice spectator course here coming through. This will be part of the second loop. Go around the gazebo. Second time they'll be making this right turn. We'll hit that part in a little bit. All right, picking up right after the mile mark. You go through the fence on the back loop, the veer to the left, and it's about a 1,000 meter loop. I should be doing all these back sections behind the two baseball fields around the lake pond. Pretty wide turn here to the right. Most of this footing is pretty flat, almost all grass. And you got about 3 steps over a dirt road right there. Coming up on 2K, 2,000 meters for both men and women. Oh, this section on the way out completely flat. Afterwards, you can take your kids over to the corn maze. I don't know if that's open And a pretty wide turn here back to the left. See the trail that we came in on. Moving back towards the gate. These gates, you're going to be making a left turn here. Still pretty gradual turn and head down a slight hill. Gazebo here, hitting that up the second time. Here's to stay on the top of the berm. But real good footing here, completely flat. Nice breeze coming off the pond to cool all the runners down. Top of the burn, and this is the 3K point for both men and women. First half of the race complete for the women. Once again, about 3 or 4 steps over some gravel. Pretty good footing still. Quick guess. And all this, for the most part, pretty flat here. The 2 mile point is when you will come down a hill in which you'll be making a left turn at the bottom of the hill, so give your runners a little caution. You don't want to go through this red fence here. Come down the hill, make that left turn, and you're back to nice flat footing here. Wide trails. As we come up here, there is a split here the first time. All the runners will be going straight. Both men and women. Again, footing all here is really good. Not any hills. You can thank Doug Renner for filling those all in for you. Afterwards, if you want to see a show at the amphitheater, you got that. Of course, we'll slightly narrow down here, but you're still about 6 feet wide across. I'll come back here. No. Okay. Got it. All right, from here you are going to make a right turn. This is the part where, of the course, you will be crossing a river, but now we have a bridge over top of that. All right, picking up on the other side of the truck here. This is the river. We'll have a nice bridge right here for you. Easy cross. Oh, this is new mulch that's been laid down, making the footing pretty good. Come up, make the left, and again, this whole trail has been cleared out in case anybody's come and checked out the course earlier in the summer. All this stuff, pretty good footing here. All the holes have been filled out, patted down, rolled out. You do start a steady climb up here. Nice little challenging hill right after the river. Kind of loop around here, stay to the right. You see, you'll stay on the path that's already cleared out. All the leaves here, off limits. This part is flat again. A nice little stretch before you ascend back to that loop right after the start line. And no problems at all with the footing here. Looping back up. And right at this point, we're right in that bottom corner of the first loop after the start line. This is where, right at the start, we came out here, went down this hill. You can get an idea of the gradient. This part flattens up. This is where we come out from the river. And we'll head back up that way. Picking up right here, right around 3,600 meters into both men's and women's races. Again, in case you couldn't quite see this, first time around you do have a little hill here that gets steep. So you're talking about 20 meters at most. Just kind of crest. And look what we just came up. You crest the hill here. Flattens back out and it heads back downhill again for both men and women back towards the starting line. Show you part of the other course here. The guys towards the end of the race will come back up. We'll show you this in a little bit. Along the ridge, they'll do that other loop back around before they start coming in here towards the finish. The women will just come through here and start the second loop. Picking back up again, both men and women heading back towards the starting line and the 4K part of the course. 4K for both men and women. It's 4K for both men and women that you just passed. Again, you head back up. And maybe a 20-meter slight uphill at most before we cross over the street again. Take your runners about 2.5 to 3 strides. And we're picking back up. I've seen this before. Started the second loop. On the second loop, the one difference will be as we get through the gate, you will not make that 180-degree turn. You'll be heading straight towards the gazebo. Make another left. This happens for both loops. Here's the difference you'll be making. Is that your second time around, both men and women will head straight this time instead of the hairpin turn on the first loop. So this is again new footing on the course that we did not do before. Both men's and women's heading 4,000 to 5,000 meters on this section. Gazebo we pointed out earlier, which making a big loop around the gazebo here. Little drop. About 2 to 3 feet, and then you'll climb back up 2 to 3 feet. And you should recognize this. This is almost meeting up with the first loop that we did at the split at the fence. Alright, so at this point, you will split. The women will be going to the right. The guys are going to be going to the left. See us march. Men's and women's, when you get out here, you got men, you're going to go straight through that fence. You'll repeat the exact same loop you did on the first time before you come out. The women, you'll be making a right at this point, and we'll pick back up there. Photographer. Alright, picking back up here, right at the split. Fine, where the women turn right, the guys will pick back up right here when they come back out of the back loop. So from here on out, the 1,000 meter markers and the mile markers will be different. Doesn't take a Hopkins student to figure that part out. So for the men, this will be the 6K marker. For the women, no, you do not finish there.
5K.
And for the women, the 5K marker will be right here. 1,000 meters to go for the women. And you got about 2,000 meters to go left for the men. It's a repeat from what we did the first time. It's completely flat here, straight, flat. Wide trails, good footing. Marker from earlier. Yeah, we're making a quick figure S here. And to the right and move back to the left. A slight decline there, and then it completely flattens out again. Coming up here again, your biggest decline of the course. Again, wide trails over here. They're not, no roots to be worried about. No rocks, nice flat. Just slight decline and then make a left turn at the bottom of the hill. And unlike our first loop here, this is going to split again. Both men and women on the second time by will be making a right turn. So you're not going to head straight back towards the amphitheater and crossing the river. You're going to make this right turn right here. We're going to head up and we'll pick back up in a minute. Alright, so picking back up at our split again. One tree to dodge, that's about it. So at this point of the course, for both the men and women in the last 1,000 or 2,000 meters. Should be very spread out at that point. A couple little bridges to go over, but they've been filled in very nicely. Smooth gradients. Boards up here. Another little bridge that you cross, but certainly wide enough for the conference championship to handle. All right, as we approach here, this is probably the steepest part of the course, probably your most challenging hill. So it is going to happen really in that last mile for both men and women. Kind of see the gradient of the hill by the fence line here. Not sure if the lead card is going to be able to come up at this point. So if there is a lead card in the race, it's probably going to have to tail off this section. Short hill, just a little steep. Nice little challenge there. At this point, we will have another split for the women. They'll be making a big right turn right here. Heading through here and really right to the finish line. Crossing just to the right of the start. For the men, we got one more section to do. So we pointed out the last time through here, but real quick, the men will come back up, veer to the left. They're gonna do that last section, last little loop that we hit at the starting line one more time. Come up through there, run that full loop, come back, and the guys will stay on the lower ledge. That's the difference with the men running on the lower ledge back towards the start line. As they approach the finish, the women will be on the right side. Guys have a little extra figure S to do. We'll quickly pick up that and head to the finish. And the guys, when they do hit that loop back there, it's where you'll hit 7,000 meters. So the guys, 7,000 meters will be back on that loop. We'll head back here as the guys approach their last half mile at this point into the finish. So women are not coming on this side of the course towards the finish. They'll be coming down the right side of the start line. Guys coming down the left side. Guys got a little more to tack on. So we'll all be flagged off for the race. They'll be veering here to the left. Tacking on a little extra figure S loop here.
On the start line.
Right behind the start line. See the starting boxes up here on the right side. The guys only at the finish are going to run right behind those starting boxes. Running the figure S right along the opening fields. Okay, so big wide hairpin turn here on the guy's side. Pick back right up here where the women. And now both the men and women are the same from this point to the finish. 200. Okay, 200 to 300 meters left to go in the race. Real wide part of the course. Come through these trees, you will be making a left angle, crossing the road. That's the carpet down there for Don Nichter. Making that left turn. finishing segment. Just looping back here around the light pole, and you are straight into the finish line. Plenty wide. Probably getting about 10 people wide at the finish line here. And there you have it. Thanks to McDaniel College, Doug Renner, putting this course together. Carroll County Farm Museum, home of the 2013 Centennial Conference Championships.